iHeart radio station.
To Carlos Correa, leader fan radio network.
That's pretty good.
And
that's pretty good right there.
KFAN.com. 1 minute, 51 seconds past 3 o'clock Central Daylight Time. Welcome back. It is a Thursday edition of the Bumper to Bumper Show on what is now just a beautiful Thursday afternoon here in the Twin Cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul. Many of you, I'm sure, at the Twins game tonight or this afternoon, celebrating the big finish and hopefully listening to us as you get stuck in traffic or try to get out of downtown Minneapolis. If you did attend the game, text us right now. Let us know. Did you hang for the whole thing? Were you there long enough to see Carlos Correa stick it in your face with a 2-run double to give the Twins the 5-3 victory? Or did you bail early? Or did you boo him? Did you boo him? When he stepped up there trying to do his job? What do you think of that booing now? 64686, that is the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line. I am the host of the program. My name is Dan Barrero. Justin Gard is the producer, and we are delighted that you are part of today's festivities. We said it over and over and over all these years, many, many times. The baseball season does seem to go on forever. And I think that cuts both ways. It can exhaust you. You just feel like you can never see the finish line. And there's another game every bleeping day. And historically, last many years, each game was going to go on forever and ever and ever. Good news is the games will go on as long as they once did. But when I say it cuts both ways, the length of the season, on the positive side, I say especially, I guess, if you're a player or the manager or even a fan, no matter how badly things go on a given night, you don't necessarily have much time to obsess over it. In fact, you have something you can do about it as soon as the next day or the next night. I mean, yesterday we started the show with what?
1 out of 3 is bad.
Savagery on your Minnesota Twins. What are we doing? We're just kind of meandering again. The hitting is worse than we thought it was going to be. Yes, the pitching's solid, but defense, putrid. It had been putrid the night before. What has happened since the last time we've been on the air?
All they've done is won.
All they've done is win. They've come from behind. They had to come from behind in extras. I believe they tied it in the 10th after the Padres went ahead by 1, and then we won it the next inning. Today, day game, getaway day, San Diego Padres. Honey of a ball game, we're down 3-2. We tie it 3-3, and then sure enough, in the seventh inning, Correa comes through with the two-run double right down the third base line to indeed win it. How many of you out there feel like you should apologize to Carlos Correa? Do I need to apologize to Max Kepler? I destroyed him 24 hours ago. What did he do last night? Well, how about a home run, a double, and scoring 3 runs? Pablo Lopez does his job. I thought the bullpen was going to screw it up for him. Well, they did technically, right? Because he didn't get the victory.
Right.
But it's classified as a quality start because it was. Had some problems walking some hitters. Location. How is his? Do you know what his velo was last night?
I assume it was pretty good.
I love that term.
Velo.
The new term, I guess, relatively speaking, is velocity is now
abbreviate it.
Shortened to velo.
Oh, you don't have time.
And it's not velo, it's velo.
We were only on this earth for a finite amount of time. You can't spend it on extra syllables.
Well, it's interesting, though, it's velo because we don't say velocity.
No, we
say
don't.
velocity.
You're right.
But when we shorten it, I think it sounds spiffier. It doesn't sound very spiffy to say the velo. What was his velo?
Yeah, it's like Thibodeau and Tibbs.
That's it.
Some things can't be explained.
You go, velo. What was his velo last night?
And then you're on the inside.
That's it. Then you're a ball guy and you're a seam head. I mean, look at this. By the way, I didn't see it, but I'm told the defense, again today, was solid to good. And that the defense yesterday was solid to good after being disastrous up until then.
You know why?
Why?
The guy you're looking at right now, the llama.
You think Rocco got to him?
Well, from what I read last night.
Did he read him the riot act?
He basically, Rocco's not a guy that does a lot of meetings.
No.
Seems like he'd be a good guy to work for. We'd like it. Not a lot of meetings. Don't just meet because you need to. Don't have a meeting because you need a meeting. You're not getting an Outlook invite every 10 minutes. But Rocco apparently yesterday had the defensive meeting and basically said, what are we doing, guys? Tighten some things up. Focus.
About time.
And so
Why do you wait
far,
so long?
so good. Well, yeah, I mean, this is like year 6.
2-0.
It's not bad.
So that all things are good. You take 2 out of 3 from the Pods. Could have been, these are both quite losable games as well. As I mentioned, you're down in extras and get the job done. Who, I think it was Solano got the hit in the 10th that extended the game, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. And then
Kirilloff,
your guy Kirilloff was back.
Yep.
He gets a single to get the game-winning run in the 11th for the 4-3 victory over the Pods. The tall guy, right, was on the mound today, Bailey Ober.
He was.
Quality start, right?
Yep.
I'm looking at, do I have the box score? Yeah, I think I do. Here it is. Here's Ober.
Went 6th.
That's quality. 6 innings, 3 runs, 6 hits, struck out 6, did give up 2 dongs, but hung in there. Then it was Pagan. What?
Yeah.
He pitched a flawless inning. Stewart goes 1, and then Lopez gets save number 3, striking out 2 in the top half of the 9th inning. Now, the bad news was earlier in the day. What was your favorite Tyler Mahle moment? Tommy John surgery. So it's gone from a twinge
to
out a month to out 2 months
to it's over
to out to he's over. It's over. It's done. It was a good run. Can we force, who do we trade with to get him? Was it the Reds, the Cincinnati Redlegs?
Yes.
Can we force them to take him back?
Man.
They got to be. I mean, I'm not saying they're delighting in a player a pitcher having to deal with Tommy John surgery, but they must feel pretty good about that particular move, right? Their timing was outstanding. By the way, you had told me there's a possibility we might have to move Laval to today because there's plenty of good baseball to talk about.
Yeah.
Is that confirmed, or are we still negotiating?
I'm still in Laval land.
Okay.
Who knows?
He's got some issues tomorrow, so we may squeeze him in today. I do know the Borton Volvo guest lineup includes John Feinstein in a little less than an hour, about 4:02. He's got a new book out. Well, of course, he's always got another book out. But this one is getting, once again, rave reviews. And it's the story of the Irish golfer turned analyst, David Feherty, correct?
Yes.
And, man, he's lived a life. There's no question about that. And so we'll talk to Feinstein about that 402. I scheduled the inbox tentatively for 5:30. Dr. Dan's inbox, if you want to email Guardsy, jg@kfan.com. We may move that if that ends up being a time that we negotiate with Laval as well. Can you see my screen over here? Bailey Ober is meeting the media.
Yeah.
What do we describe that head apparel?
It's like a headband.
Is that a headband?
Yeah, you could call that a headband.
A headband. Okay. Is that a with it and wild looking baseball now, or have I missed it?
It's a with it and wild look with the kids.
The kids like the headband.
Yeah,
and so
guys wear that.
And so the key to pulling off wearing a good headband if you are a male is how low on the forehead. Because on Bailey Ober, it's pretty low on the forehead. So is that the key to it? If you wear it too high on the forehead, you look like an idiot.
Yeah, then
are there rules on that regarding
probably
where the bottom of the headband? How far down can it come down? Can it come down to your eyebrows?
It could. I mean, it might put a little pressure on your eyelids.
Yeah,
and you might not be able to see very well.
He pulls it off nicely. He looks dashing.
Got great hair.
With
got
the
a
headband.
Nice beard.
Kind of a dark blue matches the Twins' colors.
He looks nice.
He does. He looks
a handsome
good.
Guy.
Good looking guy. Got a nice beard going. He's the tall guy, right? Like 6'8"?
I think so.
6'7", something like that.
And very well kept.
Yeah. It looks like he's very well groomed. Doesn't it?
Yes.
A lot of ball guys don't, to be honest. Let's be fair.
Newer guys.
You think the newer guys get it?
Yeah, there's an analytic for it.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. The
great facial structure.
Headband up there, huh? Interesting. I like it. We're not putting a grant in anybody's hand. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. We've got, as I said, Feinstein coming up at 4:02. We've got a whopper of a Done as a Society story that you cannot make up. There's some A-section stuff we may discuss. There's another unwritten rule baseball controversy. And then there's some NBA stuff that that's kind of been sticking in my craw. We have time, I'm hoping, to get to
KFAN, The Fan.
Dan, could you say Correa went full pelf on it, but then he actually delivered when he said he had to be better? That's from Clayton. Yes, we talked about, we gave him a full pelf for his comments on yesterday's show, I think, or was it the day before? Whenever we talked about this. But let's be honest. A full pelf doesn't mean as much if the player who's done the full pelf is unable to do anything about his pelfness. That's the whole point. And that's a pretty quick turnaround. Now, in fact, I think that was his only hit today.
Yeah.
Correa, was he hitless yesterday? Here's the box score. Here's the box score from today. So he goes 1 for 4 today, drives in the 2 winning runs.
Had a couple strikeouts today.
A couple more strikeouts today. Did he get booed today? Let me know if you were at the game. Bradshaw and Bryant, KFAN text line is 64686. I don't have the box score from last night.
I'll grab it.
You can grab that. Absolutely a full pelf. By the way, we will be eyeing any updated news, breaking news regarding the big Vikings schedule reveal. Of course,
it's a great
there's
day.
All kinds of planned leakage the last couple of days. Now, the latest I have involving the Vikings is as follows. You tell me if there's anything newer than this. And I'm down about this, but it might be, I guess, better for a team that, quite frankly, let's be honest, is used to playing in pristine conditions. No late game in Lambeau, no late game at Soldier Field.
Correct.
Either.
Correct.
Those are both going to be early. It looks like we go to Chicago in week 6.
Yep.
And
That's
it looks
rumor.
like we will go to Green Bay even earlier than that, right?
No, week 8.
Oh, week 8. Okay, a couple weeks
later.
after.
Yep.
And then allegedly we're going to host the Green Bay Packers on New Year's Eve. Is that correct?
What could possibly go wrong?
Well, no, A-Rod is gone.
No, I know, but Packer fans aren't.
Yeah. Oh, I see. You're talking about that aspect of it.
Yeah, New Year's Eve, it's already amateur hour.
Yeah, that's true.
And now you've got a border battle, Green Bay infiltration.
The assumption is because the Packers and Bears are playing each other last week of the season that we will play our last game against the Detroit Lions.
Yes.
The Lions, who are starting the NFL season.
I know.
In Kansas City against the Chiefs. I mean, I like the Lions' emergence as much as anybody, but my God. For the opening night game?
Yeah.
Do they know something? It just seems a bit. I would say I want to make the Lions earn it little bit more.
I agree.
Come on.
And we all are very grateful that they ended the Packers season a year ago. At least I am.
Yeah.
And they obviously had a great end of the season a year ago. What, they went 8 in a row or whatever it is, and they're very, very steamy.
Yeah.
But it is really, I've never seen a team get handed so much like prestige off of not making the playoffs.
9-8.
Yeah, they weren't very
finished
good
strong,
last year.
but they're 9-8.
Yes, they had a great second half when all the pressure was off. Of course.
What else do we know? Is there anything else?
Well, we kind of know everything.
We do?
Essentially.
How?
Just with different leaks and with different.
Okay, well, give me a couple more nuggets then. Give me a couple more morsels to chew on.
They open the season, we think, against Tampa Bay, here at U.S. Bank Stadium.
That's got to be a W, doesn't it?
I think you have to
Come
start
on,
it out.
man.
Yep. Had seen elsewhere.
That's a great. I mean, they're handing us 1-0 right there, aren't they?
Yes. We also think it's a Thursday night game right out of the gate week 2 going back to Philly. I think we went to Philly week 2 last year. Didn't go well. This year it's going to be a Thursday night game basically right out of the deal.
So Sunday, so you're talking about literally
4 days later. Mm-hmm. So
there's the other way to look at it is we're going to get destroyed anyway. So let's
Philly?
just go ahead and of course.
Say that to Brian Flores' face.
I'm just saying. I mean, Philly. Well, is it fair to say Philly might have been better than us last year?
They were better than us. Yes.
Like, clearly?
It appeared they were better, yeah.
Undisputably?
I mean...
and then they just had, like, by everybody's account, like, the greatest draft in the history of drafts.
However, if Irv Smith catches a wide-open touchdown from my guy Cousins, who knows how that game turns out? We'll never know. But your guy, Irv Smith, dropped a dime from Cousins. Well, we'll never know how the game might have been different.
No question. There's no question.
Because KOC clearly schemed something up, and tight end was wide open.
What's the spread for the opener against Tampa?
I don't know any of that yet.
I'm going to say the spread's going to be, we're going to be favored, I'm going to say by 6.
I was going to say 5.5.
Maybe 5.5. I might be a little bit too homerish. I'm always guilty of that.
The Vikings were never big favorites last year. We talked about it every week. Remember, they would, because no one believed that they were any good.
That's true.
Might have been correct, given that they lost the opening.
Well, let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Super Bowl odds today. Mm-hmm. Who has better odds to make the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl? The Vikings or the Lions?
I think the Lions do.
You're being serious?
I think so.
Wow. That's disrespectful.
Yes, it is.
That's what it is.
It's bulletin board material.
It's hard. You could say, well,
the Lions, big time.
If you don't like being disrespected, don't lose in the first round of the playoffs at home to the New York Giants.
That's it.
Simple as that, really. Didn't hear booing in the stands for Correa today, at least where I was sitting. That was from Steve. Somebody else said they heard some faint boos, but not overwhelming after his second K.
My source says no booing today, loud cheer when he hit his double.
Okay.
We pulled him through.
People cheered shockingly loud for him.
We're trying to help him out.
Well, yeah, most of the texters who say they were there said there were no boos for him. So, were all these people there? Maybe they were just watching.
Hearing from a lot of teachers today. Was school not in session in these districts?
You know how some teachers are, man. They'll just mail it in.
Hope it was a field trip.
Or maybe they just had it, like during they're administering tests. So then what they do is they open that upper left drawer and they got their little iPad mini.
Yeah.
And they're monitoring.
Oh, I don't mind if they're watching at their desk. I'm talking about just at the game.
Oh, I see. Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Playing hooky entirely.
Yeah, I have no problem with teachers trying to sneak a peek.
I'm told Gordon made a diving catch of a line drive in deep right center.
It was a nice catch.
Today. Did you see that one?
Yes, I did see that live, yes.
Ober gave up a home run to Tatis on the first pitch of the game. Is that true? So he recovered nicely. Farmer with a home run, a dong today as well. Rajon from Duluth. I'm not apologizing for crap. Bring back Luis Ariz. God, the Ariz obos are everywhere, aren't they?
They really are.
Honestly, you got another well-pitched game last night from the guy you got again. And was Ariz on the team last year? When we collapsed, was he?
Yes.
Was he healthy?
He was. He played. He won the batting title.
Stop pretending he's the key to everything. He's not. I'd rather have him than not, but I'd still rather have pitching. Oh, boy, let's celebrate a 2-game winning streak against a middling Padres team. This team is a joke and will continue to be average. I can't win. I get ripped for my negativity, and now I'm getting ripped for my positivity. Doesn't make any sense. Can't keep up with it. Stayed for the whole Twins game, stuck on floor 7 of ramp A, waiting for one person at a time to pay by credit card at the ramps gate. Yeah, that's an old...
You get behind the wrong person.
It's an old saw with me. It's never made any sense to me. The way those ramps operate, they're stupid. They're illogical. They don't run this way in other cities, but for whatever reason, we decide to do it the way we do it. Chewed for Correa, and the guy behind me complaining about $30 million contract was not around for me to turn around and say, how do you like them apples? Took my 6-year-old and my 8-year-old to their very first Twins game today.
That's wonderful.
What a great game to be at. Multiple ice cream helmets were consumed in celebration. That's Nick checking in from New Prague. Was at the entire game today, yesterday's game as well. Still early to sing his praises, but it's definitely a good start to getting back on track. So there you have it. I'd say enjoy the moment.
Yeah, I don't think I jumped in.
Cubs are next?
They're next. Last night, I don't know if I said this or not, Correa was 1 for 3 with a couple of walks and an RBI.
Okay. Was it a double last night?
It was a double last night.
Because somebody's alleging it should have been a triple, but he was admiring the hit. But I didn't see it.
Man, people
are tough on Correa,
I guess
man.
so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to tell them, but
Good Lord.
They are very, very, very tough.
With friends like these.
Bottom of the hour pause. Don't forget John Feinstein in about 30 minutes. I've got a done as to get to. I've got another example, I guess, of what's being described as baseball's unwritten rules that I'm not sure apply. And I've got an NBA rant to get to. Hold on for a minute.
KFAN.
Like it when we have to play in cold weather in Green Bay and or Chicago. Don't you? I prefer it. I mean, we've got so many games in perfect conditions. Let's mix it up a little bit. Let's not be afraid. Let's face our fears. Even though I know we're an indoor team now and all that nonsense, I think it kind of defeats the purpose of being in this division when you are allowed to avoid playing games in Green Bay or Chicago in December or even late November. And it appears, based on a lot of leakage, that we will be playing those two teams in weeks 6 in Chicago and week 8 in Green Bay. That would be October, correct?
Yeah, the 15th and 29th.
Yeah, well, 29th could be a little brisk, I guess. Could be a little chilly.
Could be.
A couple days before Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
And we believe Vikings will have a home game against the Green Bay Packers on New Year's Eve. We will be hosting on New Year's Eve. Well established that... do we know how many primetime games we have yet?
I think it's 5.
That many?
I think it's 5 is the rumor. Yeah.
That must mean the Lions have like 12. The Jets against Buffalo, that's the first Monday night game. Is that correct? Is that what I read somewhere?
I think that's true.
Or is it the first Sunday night game?
I'll be honest. I've really only been focused on the Vikings. I haven't checked a ton elsewhere, so I'll look for you, but I know they're playing early.
Occasionally via Twitter, you'll get promoted ad that's thrown your way, whether you like it or not?
Occasionally.
Well, I guess I'm trying to be understated. Speaking of National Football League, did you see this one from Bayer Aspirin?
No. Oh, is this the heart attack one?
Heart attack risk can more than double when your home team plays. Now, is that demonstrably true, or is that just because we've certainly heard stories over the decades of people who have suffered a heart attack watching their team collapse or whatever the case may be.
Or their Apple Watch will think they're having a heart attack.
And in fact, we got to look up something. I thought, didn't we find out that a prominent Viking, was it Fran Tarkenton? Somebody lost their, I want to say their dad during the Hail Mary game, but I could be wrong on that. We'll double check it. Bottom line is, how truthful is this? Or is this just sort of that anecdotal assumption we make that for people who are invested in their team, there is greater stress? Does heart attack risk really more than double when your home team plays? Because presumably you have to care about your home team.
You would think.
Because if you don't care about your home team, it's difficult for me to believe that your risk would more than double. Does it? That doesn't make any sense.
And how do they figure that out?
I don't know.
Is it with numbers?
I mean, their subhead is keep your heart in the game. Get it? Keep your heart.
Yeah, it seems a little risky.
It's very exploitative, is it not?
Yes.
I mean, talk about clicks. Talk about clickbait. Now, I'll admit I didn't click on the story if there is one. And maybe they feel they've covered themselves with the can more than double.
Oh, sure.
Not that it does more than double, but it can. A lot of factors, a lot of variables to that.
What's the variable that they're using to double your risk? Is it stress? Is it heart rate?
I think it's the specific team's propensity to devastate and disappoint their fans, which would indicate we should be towards the top of that list.
I would say, is that heart attack or just broken heart?
Well, that's a difference.
You could die from a broken heart. Your memory served you well. Dallas Tarkenton, Fran's father, died of a massive heart attack in his Georgia home watching the Hail Mary game on television.
Think about that.
I know.
Think about that. In all seriousness. I don't think over the years, we've talked a lot Hail Mary. I don't think we've talked about that enough.
We haven't.
That's awful.
I don't think I ever knew it.
It was in the back of my mind, but it was the old deal. I wasn't sure, but of course it didn't stop me from musing. And fortunately, you were able to find it in short order. We have some doctors who listen to the show, for sure, including Dr. Mike. Bradshaw and Brian KFAN text line is 64686. And we mentioned earlier, the inbox will be open probably 5:30 today. There's still time to email Guardsy. Get in on that fun, JG at KFAN.com. And if there's any more Vikings-related speculation, we'll certainly pass those along to you, too, correct? Is there anything new that you've noticed?
Essentially, the entire schedule has been leaked. It's just a matter of if you want to
you got to put it together.
Yeah, and people have done that.
Well, where is it? Where have you seen it put together?
I'm looking at a graphic right now.
From? Can you say?
It's been sent to me all day. I don't know where it originated. But
okay.
But it matches up with other leaks and other things.
All right, well, then send it to me when you get a chance. While you're doing that, this has been described as another example of do baseball's unwritten rules apply. We've talked about that. We've mocked many of them over the years, and I missed this play completely. Tampa Bay's got a shortstop named Franco. Did you hear about this play, what he did last week?
Where he flipped the ball up before he threw it?
Yes. And it's being offered up as, okay, where are we on this? Is this a violation of one of baseball's unwritten rules? To which I would say, this is just stupid. Because we mock how sensitive baseball players have tended to be over the decades regarding the unwritten rules. Most of them, I think, are just silly, a waste of time. It's the old deal of you don't like what the other guy does, stop him. In this case, I would say if you're on the other side of this play and you're offended by what Franco did, you should be more offended that the base runner then didn't beat the throw to first. Isn't that what you should really be pissed off about?
Your own guy.
Your own guy.
Yep.
That's the way you punish somebody for doing something like that. But I do not put this in the classification of, lighten up. The game needs more personality. Let people emote. Let them celebrate. No, this is dumb. And I got to believe even modern baseball managers would say, cut it out. We're not doing that. Now, he says it was something I do during practice, which I've seen.
Sure.
And so I'm not going to call him on that. It's possible that he sort of just said he's such a habit of doing it, he just did it. So I don't think he needs to be cut as a result of it or fined as a result of it. But surely, this doesn't apply, should not apply as, it's fun. It's fun what he did. No. 9 times out of 10, that's just a bad baseball play where you're asking for trouble.
Right.
Although, as I said, if I'm on the other side, I'm more upset with my own guy not getting down the base paths fast enough.
Well, on his explanation, I do this in practice all the time. My comeback would be, maybe I'm too old school. Well, you shouldn't, because it's a bad habit. You practice bad habits, all of a sudden they pop up, and if it's just, it's something that I just do, it's kind of become almost a reflex sometimes. Well, that could come at the wrong time at the expense 100%. Of your team. And then what are you going to say? So I guess what I'm saying is, if there are people out there saying, calm down, don't be so back in my day, don't be angry old guy yelling at the clouds. This is another example of how baseball is showing more personality. False. This is not. There's a million examples that we can discuss and I think reasonably talk about, and I'm for many of them. This ain't it. If this is the one you're using as your argument that, hey, loosen up, baby, come on, it's a big deal, you're an idiot. You just are. This is not one that is under that classification of players just expressing themselves in a way that Major League Baseball players for decades were told not to, and it's what kids respond to. If you want to talk about, well, now there's somebody who's got a home run trot. Who is it who's got a home run trot where he does something different between every base? Like he's got one thing he does between home and first, another act between first and second, a third act between second and third, and then something, pièce de résistance, to wrap it up between third base and home. That might be a little much for me, too, I'll be honest. I can live with celebrations and not going crazy over the flipped bat and all that kind of thing. But this isn't, come on. This makes no sense to me as one of these examples of people just they're too old school. This is just new school. No, this is stupid in any school that you're going to make a habit out of. I'm going to throw the ball in the air, and then I'm going to see if I can still get the runner out. Although it could be, as I said, embarrassing for the other team. Luke trying to play devil's advocate. If hitters can bat flip and pimp their home runs, I'd say this is the fielder's equivalent. The problem with that logic is it's a live play.
Exactly. The play isn't over. When hitters do what they do, the play's over. Well,
usually,
unless they flip their bat thinking it's a home run and it ends
Josh
up
Donaldson.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Caught on the warning track, or it hits the wall and you end up getting thrown out at second base because you assumed it was a home run. But I don't think there's the fielder's equivalent would be to do an Ozzie Smith after you throw the runner out, right? Like do a backflip or something like that. That would be the equivalent.
Yes.
That I think would, there you say, okay, well, if hitters can do it, why can't I do it as well? Zach and Egan, I can understand more heart spells happen in extreme weather. I can also see first-time visitors to the stadium, but that was a far-out stat. Now, like I said, I don't even know that it is a stat. It's convenient for Bayer, the aspirin company. Heart attacks may triple for Vikings fans. Possible. Vikings fans have a kinky affection for heart palpitations. My daughter is a 12-year-old hockey player and a huge Wild fan. I'd say her risk of a heart attack increases by a factor of 10 while she's watching Wild games. It may still be law, but I have concerns. Law? I think this must have been a dictated text.
Low, probably.
Maybe low.
Yep.
The thing about statistics is when your rate is very low, you can double very easily. Oh, yeah, we said that for years about ratings. You can have, if you have a share of in the ratings of 1.0.
Yeah, right.
And then you go to 2.0.
Right.
You can say with a straight face, we doubled our ratings.
We doubled.
Now, that would still indicate nobody's listening to you.
No one cares.
No one cares,
Yep.
but the beauty of it is you can say, so stats can be used in a very misleading
Beware of any percentages.
way.
Anywhere.
Somebody wants us to ask the big knocker about this. I'm giving the knocker a wide berth because I'm assuming he can't really speak at all or be very objective about the latest battle between the state of Minnesota,
Yeah.
the state legislature, and the governor,
Right.
nurses,
Yep.
and Mayo Clinic. So I'm saying it's not fair to expect him
The knocker.
to comment on that, the knocker. So I'm kind of trying to leave him alone a little bit. I'm sure he could help us with the question. Jen from Golden Valley, so that's something to play around with, Bayer, especially for those like me who lost their father or someone else close to them from massive heart attack. Well, that's another interesting point that she raises, that, you know, we all do the jokes about blood pressure going up and heart palpitations and all that. But if you're an aspirin company, are there more effective less flippant ways of making your point? Is it still considered healthy practice? It was for a long time, and then I don't know, sometimes things change, that if you are of a relatively advanced age, you should take a baby aspirin every day. Is that still considered? Is that still recommended?
I'm not sure.
It was the thing for a long time. Then I thought I read something indicating, well, it may not be all that it's cracked up to be. So I can't keep up with what the latest trends are. It's almost like when we hear, coffee 1 year is awful for you.
Alcohol moderation.
Exactly. There's a million
do this to give yourself 10 more years.
Ways that this thing
By the way,
goes. Yes, sir.
Yesterday, we were trying to, actually all week, we've been trying to, we need a good phrase for when the Twins make the playoffs and lose in the first round. And then that means that the Vikings, Wolves, Wild, and Twins, all four major men's teams, all would have lost. Did you get any good submissions at all overnight?
I got one.
I think I have the winner.
Oh, okay. I got one. I told you, and I took a picture of it because I don't know how to save these texts that come in. Let me give you, we'll build up to yours because I'm guessing it'll be better. Let me see what mine, that I took a picture of this yesterday, so I can find it. The Final Futility Frontier.
Oh, wow.
Which is good alliteration.
Yeah, maybe a little wordy.
But a little bit, it's not real punchy. Well, the aforementioned Jen from Golden Valley, her idea was the Minnesota Miracle, which is not bad in its own sort of gallows humor way. But you think you got the winner?
Along those lines, this was sent to me yesterday. The Soda Slam.
That's good, yes.
I mean, that's it, right?
Well, so far.
The Soda Slam.
The Soda Slam. That's perfect.
Says it is.
The Soda Slam. Was that Mondello?
No. I'll have to go back in my emails to last night.
But was it a familiar name?
Yes.
Okay.
Somebody who writes in frequently about
the Soda
things.
Soda Slam.
That's
perfect.
It's perfect.
Yeah, it's
Tiger
perfect.
Slam, Serena Slam, Grand Slam.
Soda Slam.
And what's the Soda Slam?
My God,
all of our teams
outstanding.
lost in the first round.
That's so good. That is so damned.
Dan Nelson, we'll give him credit.
You got to give him credit.
Dan in Duluth, he emails on a lot of stuff, and I emailed him right back and said, that's my winner.
That's it right now.
That's as good as it gets.
I mean, I'll challenge somebody. I'll listen to something else, but that's going to be a tough one.
Soda Slam.
That's going to be a tough one to beat. And again, for those unfamiliar, the Soda Slam would be defined as having, in the same calendar year, all four major men's professional teams, starting with your Minnesota Vikings, then your Minnesota Timberwolves, then your Minnesota Wild, and this fall, your Minnesota Twins, reaching the playoffs, all reaching the postseason, and all being eliminated in round one.
What
and
is
of
that
course,
called? It's called the
Soda Slam. It's perfect. Now, the Twins obviously could add the exclamation mark if they not only complete what's bigger than that's not a trifecta, it's a 4. What do they call it?
Yeah, the quadrangle, the quadrant.
Whatever.
Yeah, the square.
That they get swept. I mean, that would be a way to put a cherry on top of it, right?
And
not only do they get eliminated to make it 4 for 4, they get swept. They continue the longest postseason losing streak in North American sports history.
That'd almost be like the distinction of a no-hitter and a perfect game.
Yes.
Like a no-hitter, that happens a lot now. Like 7 pitchers will combine for a no-hitter.
Yes.
But if you have a perfect game and it's just you, that's kind of the Twins capping off the Soda Slam.
Soda Slam. God, that's so good.
It's wonderful.
Now,
it says everything.
Did you say you couldn't find a spread on Vikings since it's not official?
Yeah, I had
The opener against hosting, we think we're going to be hosting the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Right.
In our season opener. What's the date of our opener? Do we know? Do we know it's the first Sunday?
September 10th, I want to say.
September 10th?
Yes.
Sunday noon?
I don't know the times.
Well, that's not going to be prime time. Us against Tampa Bay.
Right.
That's for sure.
Yeah, I don't have but you asked me earlier, Lions or Vikings, better Super Bowl odds. Lions, like, prohibitively better.
Do you remember them?
I don't.
Look them up again.
I got off the deal here.
Texts are coming into the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line. That's 646-86. Don't forget the inbox. We will open that. We think at 5:30. We may have bonus Laval today, if indeed Currency is ever able to get a hold of him.
Well, I've gotten a hold of him.
Oh, okay. So,
here's where our conversation. You just tell me what's happening.
All right.
Where is he? He texted me earlier today. I'm not able to make 5:30 tomorrow. I wrote, "You want to go today 5:30?"
Mm-hmm.
He wrote back, "I'll be at the Saints game." This is me now. The Saints play at 6:30 tonight. He wrote back, "I'll be at the Saints game." So my response was, "Is that yes or no?" With a laughing emoji, like you're laughing, because what the hell does that?
No,
that doesn't help me.
No, it does not.
So I'm still waiting. That's our last correspondence. Want to go today 5:30?
Because it's not a question that should flummox him.
No,
it's not like, oh God, I have to. What does he mean by this exactly? He
says, "I'll be at the Saints game."
You can be at a Saints game and still be on.
Yes, we had him on at ballparks all over the country.
Unless he thinks there's need, to listen to the ball players, scratch their scrotum and fart a lot like they do at the major league level.
That's an hour before the game.
That's it.
You
don't even need that.
So it could, does that mean I can't always translate Laval? Does that mean no, I'll be at the Saints game, or sure, but I'll be at the Saints
with
game?
With him, it literally could go either way.
That's why
you have to have an answer.
I said I have no idea, but that's literally word for word our correspondence today.
The Sisyphus syndrome. Now, it's going to lose, I think, to
Soda Slam.
But I like the way he's thinking. Sisyphus syndrome, meaning the guy who was punished for cheating death twice, cough, cough, Twins, 87-91, by being forced to push the rock that would never get over the hump and roll back down for eternity. Edit, had to check, wiki. Through the classical influence on modern culture, tasks that are both laborious and futile are therefore described as I can't even, how do you say the word? Sisyphean? Sisyphean. Yeah, Sisyphean. And that is a good analogy. Sisyphus is an outstanding analogy that captures the ongoing Minnesota sports calendar of calamity. So I like the way he's thinking. Sisyphus syndrome might be a very good second choice, but the Soda Slam covers it very, very well. First round of baseball doesn't even count. It's 3 games. What does that mean? It does count. That's the first round.
Should count.
Why doesn't it count? Couple people are bitter. They said, let's see, TP2K guy claims he tweeted this last night. So he thinks somebody is stealing his material on the Soda Slam. I didn't see it, but I don't know. Who can say who got it from whom?
We'll do timestamps if we need to. The Vikings, BetMGM, are 50-1 to win the Super Bowl. The Detroit Lions are 25-1.
25 to twice the chance.
Yeah.
That's stunning to me.
They're a hot team.
And I know, and I get that, but that's where I start being suspicious. When teams start getting that fashionable that quickly, it often goes the wrong way. I like what they're doing. I'm not going to lie to you. I do. I like what they're putting together, but my God, it seems to be
actually
out of control.
If I look a little deeper, those were their opening odds. They've actually been bet down to 20-1. They're like plus 2,000. So if you bet 100, you win 2,000.
When we come back, we'll check in with our old buddy John Feinstein. He's got a new book out about the Irish golfer turned golfing analyst David Feherty. A lot of good conversation around this book and his life, which is fascinating as hell. We'll get to all of that